additional revenue of 46,500 crores. So overall, he will still be left with something more, 26,500 crores. Obviously, that is what is coming from us, particularly when we look at indirect taxes. They would be coming in from all sections of the society. A small person or a big person, they all pay the same amount. It gets spread. But then, to that extent, there will be more money which will be taken out from people. The goods will become expensive. Overall also, what we found was that as an economy develops, it moves from the stage of developing to a developed stage, the share of income tax, the direct taxes goes up and the share of indirect taxes in the total tax revenue comes down. We found that over a period of time, the share of indirect taxes now has come down to 42%. That means the balance 58% comes from direct taxes. So what he felt was that there is a scope, even if this 42% share of indirect taxes goes up a little to 44 or 45%, which was the situation last year, and year before that, last year was an exceptional year because of the stimulus package, he felt that it should not be a problem. And that is how 2% has been increased and adjusted. So far as service tax is concerned, again, he said, I'm not making any adjustment in the rate. He could have done it because he said, let us look at service tax. I have an option either to increase the rate or make it applicable all across the board or go by selective. He said, I'm not increasing the rate. One of the reasons for not increasing the rate was he wanted to indicate, give an indication to people that when we move to goods and services tax, the rate at the central level will be 10%. Now, there has been huge concern that when goods and services tax comes in, what will be the total tax burden? Now today, the tax burden of central taxes and the state taxes together is about 22.5%. Now it's very comparable to global. We have situation, of course some countries are very low, like if you look at Australia, their goods and services tax rate is 10%. But when we look at Europe, it's ranging from 15 to 25%, the whole of the European Union. UK has the rate of 17.5%, they brought it down to 15% because of the economic slowdown, they are back to 17.5%. Some of the other countries are 19%. We are at 22.5%. And when now that rate gets extended to the retail sector also, we were expecting the rate to come down, overall rate to come down to 16%. There were indications that the rate would be 8% at the central level, 8% at the state level, total coming to 16%. But that would have been extremely difficult to maintain, looks like, because the states were not agreeing to the rate of 8%. States are saying 8% is not an adequate rate and we need a rate which is higher. Now if their rate is higher, then center will still have difficulty, they will have to bring down the rate. So he said, let me send out an indication to the state governments and also to people at large that the central value-added tax GST rate will now be 10%. Assuming the state rate is also 10%, though it's high, it should actually be 8%, the overall rate will be between 18 to 20%. That's the indication at the moment, and that is why the rate maintained at 10. And I know markets were talking about the rate being increased to 12%. Excise duty rate from 8 to 12 and service tax rate being increased by 2%, 12% and 8%. And that is perhaps the reason the market is very happy. Plus he has taken some simplification measures like some of the TDS requirements, the withholding tax that have been simplified, the simple tax form, etc. A special incentive he has given to small businesses. So far as small businesses are concerned, first he said that many of the businesses organize themselves as a limited liability company primarily because they wanted the limited liability benefit. But then, because they were a limited liability company, one, they had to comply with all the Companies Act requirements. Not only that, they were being made liable to pay dividend distribution tax when they distribute their profits. So they were continuously asking that how do we convert ourselves into a limited liability partnership. So that benefit has been given now. Of course, it's limited to very small enterprises. His focus has been to with the small entrepreneurs. In fact, at the end he says this budget is for Aam Aadmi. Aam Aadmi, small entrepreneurs, besides agriculturists, farmers and others, is looking at it as for the small entrepreneurs. So for them, one, they can convert from limited company to limited liability partnership, plus the tax audit requirement, which was 40 lakhs, has been now increased to 60 lakhs. So 60 lakhs he has treated as a turnover cutoff to determine that an enterprise is a small enterprise. They have been given certain benefits under excise duty like Senvet credit. They can, on capital goods, they can claim immediately, plus they will be now filing returns on quarterly basis, meaning more money they can keep with themselves. When they make sales, they collect tax. Now that money, if they have to pay to government every quarter, that money is available with them. So to that extent, to the extent of VAT and other taxes, they would have a larger cash float available with them. So their tax cost comes down. He has taken some measures for reducing litigation. So far as pharma sector is concerned, he was very particular that we must make more and more investment in R&D, and we must come out with some of the original products, original research. So R&D benefit has been increased if the research, if companies do research. In-house, it will be weighted deduction to the extent of 200%, and if they give it to outsiders, outsource, it's 175%, which would mean more money would be left with these companies who will be able to plow it back and engage themselves in research. Now, so far as pharma company is concerned, though they have this benefit of R&D, there is an element of excise service tax which could have a bearing on their earnings, because now some part of the health sector has been brought into the service tax net. Any expenditure which is incurred by a company for an employee, by a business entity they've defined, business entity includes a company, a firm, an AOP, etc. If they make payment for the health checkup of their employees, or any preventive care would also include tests which are carried out before a pilot boards an aircraft or before a sportsman enters into the event. Now all those expenditure will be liable to service tax at the rate of 10% plus surcharge, it becomes 10.3%. So to that extent, there will be some pressure on pharma companies. Then on the health insurance scheme, including the treatment, where the payment is made directly by the insurance company, that is cashless health policies, again there is service tax, so that would add to the cost by 10%. Now to reduce the negative effect of this, what he has done, simultaneously he has reduced customs duty and excise duty on variety of medical equipments. So on the one hand, the cost will go up for the people, consumers, because of the service tax coming in. And the issue is who will bear this burden of service tax? Will it be possible to pass this on to the individuals who are taking the service? To the extent the businesses are able to get Senvet credit, they will get the Senvet credit, so it's no extra cost. Something may be pushed back to the pharma companies. But then at the same time for them, the cost will come down because of the reduction in the customs duty and excise duty on some of the equipments. The major focus for so far as various sectors are concerned was on agriculture. He said agriculture is not growing, the productivity has to be improved. In general, for the rural India, he has to take certain steps so that the social fabric of rural India also improves, the pressure on the urban comes down. With that in mind, what he has done is, and one of the factors why our productivity is not high is because we still don't use the modern technology for agriculture, for farming. So he has now reduced and in some cases done away with the customs duty and excise duty on variety of agricultural implements, plus cold storage, the food processing sector, agricultural machinery. All of those, the duty has been reduced, and in some cases, service tax has also been exempted so that they can become cheaper. The next also focus was on global warming, green energy. So the solar and wind energy projects have been given special status. From customs duty as well as excise duty, various concessions have been given to them.